Hello. Thank you for purchasing Exchange Rate. Now, I think this is a very strong piece of magic. You may have seen bill changes before, but they always left me just a little bit confused. If you could really change a $1 bill into a $100 bill, why would you want to change it back? And all the other bill changes, they were working on speed, visual effects, but there was no real explanation as to why would you change a larger denomination bill back into a smaller denomination bill. Well, that's what led me to create Exchange Rate. Now also, one of the other things that I do with Exchange Rate is, this is not a trick that I just pull out as an opener. I keep this hidden away in my pocket, and I wait till somebody brings up the topic. It typically happens. I mean, I've seen it happen many times where people say, hey, if I gave you $1, could you change it into a $100 bill? That's when you bring it out. I'll explain to you the logic in that. Basically, I like to answer them, well, yes, I can, but I can't. You understand? And they're, no, not really. Okay, so, well, I can do it, but it's considered counterfeiting. And if I do it, I run the risk of going to federal prison. But I can show you my workaround. Let me show you my workaround. So here's what I can show you. Look, I have $1, $2, $3, $4. Now in the old days, this is what I would take and change into $100 bills. This is the part that everybody liked, except for the Federal Reserve. They didn't like this at all. So I had to come up with the workaround, and this is my workaround. I now take the ones and I change them into 100, 200, 300, 400, but not American dollars. No, these are Ecuadorian sucres. And you see, that's the workaround. U.S. government doesn't care what I do with Ecuadorian sucres. I could do this all day long if I wanted, but just because I can do it, do you think I should do it? What you need to know is, what is the exchange rate of sucres to American dollars? Now, I didn't know. I was just trying to stay out of federal prison, but I did get online and I checked it out. Come to find out, 100 Ecuadorian sucres in American money, 100 Ecuadorian sucres is only worth about 1/4 of an American dollar. That's it. So if you were tracking with me, I started off with 4 ones. I changed it into 400 Ecuadorian sucres, and oddly enough, that is the exchange rate. It takes 400 Ecuadorian sucres to equal, in American money, just $1 US. Now, I lose $3 every time I do this now, but I don't go to federal prison, and trust me, you can't hire a good lawyer for $3. So it still has a positive upside. Okay, now, this gimmick is now yours. You can do with it what you want. That routine that I just showed you, that is my preferred routine because it makes all the explanations. Why am I changing 100 Ecuadorian sucres back to a smaller $1 bill? Because it works. And you see there that I've actually mixed 2 previously released effects, if you will. Many names it's gone by, the bill switch, Hundy 500 and a few others. But I also mixed in with it the mismade bill, because that helped explain the exchange rate being 1/4. Well, you saw it. You can put together your own pattern, or you're more than welcome to use that pattern. I like it. It seems to get several laughs, especially the part about you can't hire a good lawyer for $3. But let's take a look at the gimmick, what you have, and what you want to do with this. Because now, I'll bet you right away, you're probably going to dump the bills out of the gimmick, and you're going to want to know how to reassemble them. So let's take a look at what we have in the gimmick packet right here. Inside here we have Ecuadorian sucres, okay, And then we also have $1 bills. Now if this were to drop and you were to lose stuff all over the ground, let's look at how you would reassemble this and get everything back in working order. Now first of all, what we have here is what's called the X-wing gimmick. Okay, you see that? And starting on the back side here, we have the back side of the $1 bill, and then we have the back side of the Ecuadorian sucre. Going on around, we have the front side of the Ecuadorian sucre, and then we have the front side of the $1 bill. All four sides of the gimmick are just like this. The way the bills go in, let's go to the front side of the Ecuadorian sucres. This is where you're going to take the other three Ecuadorian sucres and you're going to put them face out on the gimmick, face out on the bills, put it all together and close it up to where now we see the inside or the face of the $1 bill on the gimmick. Let's take a look at the bills. They're all not just $1 bills. There's two regular $1 bills. And there is also this one here, which has the mismade dollar attached to the back. Right there. That is the mismade dollar. If you were to unfold this all the way, the gimmick kind of looks like this. It's all glued on there. And because it is glued on, it affects the handling. When you're showing the full dollar bill, the gimmick is right here. So you want to cover it with your hands this way and show both sides of the bill. Now when we fold this back up again, and now we have the mismade bill on there, look at where the gimmick is, or the bill now is on the corner. It's no longer in here in this center panel. It kind of moved positions. So now when you're showing this, you want to cover this corner, and I like to go to the opposite corner and just show it this way. Okay? That covers up the gimmick. However, the gimmick does have pretty good cover because it positions well. But just for any shadows or anything, cover it this way when it's the mismade bill from corner to corner. And then when you have the full bill, the gimmick is going to be right here. So then just show it with one hand, placing 3 fingers over, thumb, small finger on the face, 3 fingers over the back, and they are covering the gimmick right there, the gimmick bill, and that's how you can show both sides of the one. Okay, so we have the $1 bill with the mismade dollar bill on it, and the other two $1 bills. Put the gimmicked bill on top. Now come back to your X-wing gimmick. You have the faces shown, and the faces shown here. Put it on there, and close that puppy up. Okay, so now here's what we have. We start off looking at the back of the bills. Now, one thing I'd like to point out on here also is that these are not real $1 bills. These are not real Ecuadorian sucres. Many people don't know it, but Ecuador no longer uses sucres. However, if you get somebody in the audience that knows that, will say, well, see, that's why Ecuador doesn't pursue me anymore either. Ecuador nowadays uses the dollar bill, the American dollar bill. But just say, that's why Ecuador won't go after me either. And if somebody happens to notice that on the bottom of this right here, this is, it's prop money, okay? It's printed right on there. Yeah, well, if they happen to notice that, just use that and say, well, that's because if I changed real dollar bills, then the U.S. government would be upset with me. But most people don't notice that. They're a little off color for a regular bill, a little brighter in the whiteness of the bill. That's about all people notice. But a good way to tell whether you've got the gimmick right, whether you're doing it this way, you want to have it ready to fold just right. Look for that little prop money thing right down here. You look for that. You see that? That's the side you want your thumb on. And you can use your thumb to cover it just a little bit. See there? Now it's not as obvious. There, if I cover it like that, now it's not as obvious, and it also holds the packet together a little bit better. So there you go. That's how you assemble it. Now when you take it out, you're all ready to go. The bills are in place, and it's reassembled, ready to go. Let's zoom in a little bit closer here, and we'll take a look at the actual handling of the gimmick throughout the process. Okay, when you're doing the bill, again, start them with where you can see the little symbol down here of prop money. Put your thumb over it and count the bills off this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the packet that hides the Ecuadorian sucres is right down here. So I like to turn it around right away and take that view out so that they really just see the ends of bills now. They don't see the packet. The packet is now towards my body. And this also allows me to spread them out and show them both sides. Here we have $1 bills. And with this, remember, you've got the gimmick right there. This is the mismade bill. And so if you leave that covered just a little bit with the bill, like that, you can kind of but right there, that keeps it covered. Right there, keeps it covered and not exposed. But either way, just count off a couple bills in one hand, couple bills in the other, show both sides of the bills. Now, in a moment of misdirection, the packet is over here in your left hand at this point. What you're going to do is grab your fingers and kind of curl back on that a little bit. You curl back, and as you put the bills back together, slip your finger in there, and this is where you feed the flap forward. Okay? So this flap right here is moved forward, and you're ready to go for the bill change. Now if they were to look at the bottom, they'd see the Ecuadorian sucres on the back and the bills on the top, but they don't see that part. They just see this. And as you fold it over, it's really beautiful because it just brings right into view the Ecuadorian sucres, and people can see there's nothing else in your hands, and you can count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the sucres. Again, turn it around so the packet is back here towards your back again. And then again, you can count these off, show both sides. These are all Ecuadorian sucres. And as you bring it back, as you get ready to put these bills on top, this is sort of the larger move hiding the smaller move. Again, we're going to pinch and pull this corner back just a little bit to give us a bit of a break underneath. So they can't really see that break going on. And as I put the $1 bills back on top, this hand slides in under the break, and in arranging the bills, it looks like from up here, it looks like you're just arranging the bills back into a square packet. Now we're all set. We now have $1 bills showing on the bottom, Ecuadorian sucres showing on the top. And when you push it over, there we go. You're already back. And now you have ones. And the explanation is because you're talking about the exchange rate. So when we have it as Ecuadorian sucres, and we're asking people, yeah, just because I can do it, do you think I should do it? And the answer is this. What you need to know is, what is the exchange rate of Ecuadorian sucres to American dollars? Okay? So you're covering that change by talking about the exchange rate, the effect itself. You get all the bills out. I like to take the packet and the other bills, stick them in my pocket, and draw attention to this. So what is that exchange rate? I didn't know, but I got online, I checked it out, and now you fold it up. The folds are already pre-built into the bill, and you fold it down like this. Now, the opening is already right up here at the top. No fancy moves or anything you've got to do. It's right here, and all you have to do now is unfold it and show the mismade bill, and you say, it takes 4, yeah, that's right. You notice I had 4 ones, I changed it into 400 Ecuadorian sucres. That is the exchange rate. It takes 400 Ecuadorian sucres to equal an American money. And again, the flap is right up here ready to go. It takes 400 Ecuadorian sucres to equal just $1 American dollar. Now, I lose $3 every time I do this, but that's all right, because I found out you can't really hire a good lawyer for $3. You can take that joke a little bit further too and say, notice what I really said was, you can't hire a good lawyer. You take it however far you want to go. But once again, let's go through the handling of this from front to back. I'll keep the powder out of it, but you start with the little marking right there and your thumb over it, and put that in your right hand. Use your left hand to peel back the ones. Once you have it, turn it around, put the packet towards your body, and start peeling off the bills to show both sides of the bills. And in this movement, once you bring the left hand back down, that's when you start the pinch. You pinch, get a break, use your right hand middle finger to get in there and push that flap forward. And then square up the bills, make the change. Count them off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, turn that packet around, show both sides. Okay? Again, as you bring this one back down, make the break. Get your left hand ready, because that middle finger is going to slide in the break. And as you put the bills on top, slide your middle finger in, pull the flap forward, and now you do the change and you have the $1 bills again. To explain the exchange rate, take the $1 bill, fold it all up, and immediately, or thereabouts, you unfold it again, and you have the mismade bill. And then to explain the $3 lost, say I lose $3 every time I do this, but I don't go to federal prison, and trust me, you can't hire a good lawyer for $3. So it all kind of works out in the end. And ditch that back in your pocket. So there you have it. That is my version of the bill change and why everything works, called exchange rate. And I do appreciate you purchasing it. Use it any way you want, but I'd really like to encourage you again, the best time I feel to bring this out is when somebody else brings up the topic. And let me explain to you the reason for that. If I just pull a trick out and show you a magic trick, I'm sort of leading the way. And if I hold back and wait till somebody in the audience asks me a question, now I am responding to them and doing a trick based upon their request. So it really changes the dynamics of your magic, because now the layperson is actually leading the magic, not the magician. Give it a try. See if you like it. If not, develop your own routine and have a lot of fun with it. And again, thank you for purchasing Exchange Rate.